Hello and welcome. In this video, I'll be showing you a basic example of styling multiple properties. I have already got an external CSS, and if I click on this is my external CSS. So it's got one property in there at the moment. When you are applying CSS to an HTML element, you can style multiple properties for that element. For example, this paragraph element here, which is the selector. If I want to add more properties to style, I'll just tap down and say, for example, I want to increase the size of the font. I just come here and type in size and do a colon. Maybe I give it 30 pixels and then a semicolon. And I want to, let's say I want to apply a border to the paragraph. So I type in border. This will be the border property, and then a colon to separate the property from the property value. And I want this to have a 1 pixel solid border that would have a color of red. Okay, so that's it. When you're writing your CSS, always make sure you terminate each property and value with the semicolon at the end. So I'm just going to save this, save my external file, and just refresh my document. You can see here the CSS has been applied. The border, you can see the border around the paragraph, which is the line 5 here. Line 1 is a color, which is blue. I've also increased the size of the text to 30 pixels. You can see the size. When you are using the size property, you have to attach the font. You can see I've used size, but I didn't say what size I was referring to. So I've now added font, which means I want the size of the font, which is the text inside the paragraph, to be big. You can see the text is gone big now because I've changed the value or the size to 30 pixels, and you can see the border around it. So this is a simple example of using multiple properties to style an HTML element. Hello and welcome. In this video, I'll be showing you how to select multiple elements and apply a single CSS rule to all the elements. So I've got several elements in my HTML document. So let's assume I want to style the paragraph. I want to style the H1 heading, which is this one here. And I also want to style the list item, which is the LI element. All I need to do is go into my CSS. You see, that's the advantage of having an external CSS. You just do everything on one file. So I'm going to modify this one slightly. I'm just going to get rid of that for a minute. All right, so I want to select multiple elements and apply a single CSS rule to all those elements. So the way you do that, you separate each of the elements with a comma. So I want to apply CSS to the paragraph. I do a comma. I want to apply CSS to my H1 element. I do a comma, and I want to apply CSS to my list item, which is my LI item. So you can see I've separated them all with a comma. You got the P, the H1, and the list item. So I want to make all of them have a red text. So what I'll do, I'll just style one property, which is a color, and I separate the value of the property from the property with a colon. So the color is a property, and the value of the property is red. Okay, you can see now it's all changed. You can see this is the H1 element. This, if I open up my index, you can see properly. The H1 is this one here. That's this. the paragraph as one paragraph here. Today is a new day. That's it. I've got list item. You can see this is my LI. These are all my list item. And I've got another paragraph here which says let's try to be, which is this one here. So that's basically how you can style multiple elements with a single CSS rule. So you can see I'm using one rule and I'm applying it to multiple elements. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Bye for now. Hello and welcome. In this video I'm going to make some modifications to the CSS that I have applied to my HTML document. In a previous video I used this CSS styling here to style multiple elements. As you can see, my text is red, so I want to modify that and style things properly to make it look a bit more decent. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to style the H1 element, which is this here, which is this title. I'm going to style that separately. I'm going to let the color go back to the standard color, which is black, but I'm going to make the font size bigger and I'm going to align the text to the center. I'm also going to style both the paragraph and the list item. So I'm going to apply some extra properties. I'm going to change the font size, the line height, and the letter spacing. So let me head over to my CSS. So I just click on the CSS file here, and this is where I can make the changes. So the first thing I want to do here is get rid of the list, the H1 item, because I want to give that a different style. I will just leave the paragraph and the list item, and I'm going to change some properties. I'm going to change the font size, set that to, I'm going to give it a value of 17 pixels. Pixels is a unit of measurement when how you measure the sizes. So that's going to be set to 17 pixels. And then I'll put a semicolon to terminate that. And then I'll add another style. This time I want to do the line height. That is the height between, you can see this text here and this text. So that's known as the line height. I'm going to change that as well. So I'll do line. This is another property you can see is giving me suggestion here. So I just click on that. That's the property. I'm going to make it 2, give it a value of 2 and do a semicolon. Next, I'm going to do the letter spacing. Basically, is a space between the letters. I'm going to type in letter. You can see it's giving me suggestion. I just use that and I'm going to make that 1 pixel. Okay, you can see the letters, you can see this, you can see the line height and the spacing is already effective here. All right, you can see the changes are already reflected on the page. So that's my list item and my paragraph. Next, I want to style my H1 element. So H1 is going to be the selector. I'll do my curly braces. In between the curly braces, I'm going to change the font size property. So I want to change the size of the font and I want this, I'll give it a big size. I'll make this one 65 pixels. I'm just being adventurous here. You can see how big it is. Next, I want to align the text to the center. So the property is text align property and the value I'm giving it is center. That's it. And I will save that and refresh. So you can see here the text has been aligned. You can see it's moved away from the other content towards the center. So if I expand the page, you can see the text being aligned to the center. Okay, so that's basically how you change. You can make modifications to any CSS at any time just by going to the CSS file and making the relevant changes. And you can also add more CSS rules to your style sheet. So that's basically it for this video on modifying your CSS. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.